Welcome to I Feel Fat Today. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. Thank you so much for joining. We have a really quick intro before we get into it with our guest this week. Please subscribe to us on YouTube where we have full video episodes. Like, comment. Your support on YouTube means everything. So please make sure you subscribe over there. Then head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. Leaving a 5-star review gets the word out to people about the podcast, and it would mean a lot to me if you could do that. Leave us 5 stars. You can subscribe to us. No, you can follow us on Instagram at I Feel Fat Today, and you can follow me, your host, at Hello, This is Kelly. And please send us an email if you want some advice or anything. You can email me at ifeelfattoday@gmail.com. And yeah, I think I covered all my bases. I think so. I don't have much to speak on before bringing on my guest. I didn't have time to set up the camera or anything, so we're doing it real quick and dirty right now for this episode. But I love you all. My listeners are the best, and I'm excited for this thing to grow. So we'll get into it. I have an awesome conversation with my guest this week. She is on a therapy sort of, I don't want to say journey, a therapy crusade, we'll call it. And super interesting. We had a really fun conversation. Please give a warm welcome to the very funny Jessica Levin.
Good call.
Yeah,
Good call.
mushroom bunny gummy is the way to go for me. I didn't drink. I'm not drinking much right now anyway.
Yeah.
But I ate a mushroom gummy and an edible, and I just grooved out.
Nice. A mushroom gummy is a surefire way to not drink too much. In my case.
Yeah, me too. I mean, blow, forget about it. You're gonna be fucking drinking all fucking
Forget
night.
it.
You're done. But a mushroom gummy, and it's like kind of like you just want to chill. I didn't want to like even taste alcohol. I just wanted to vibe. I love going. I go to concerts by myself a lot.
Same.
I'm
not just trying to relate to you as a guest. I am a concert girl, and I go alone.
Yes, I always go alone. Usually, I like going alone.
Yeah.
Except for like if it's my one best bud that we've done concerts a lot, so it's like we know the drill. I don't like going with someone who doesn't know. You know what I mean? That they're like talking to you. I'm like, Lee, like this is like I go to escape. Like I go there to get in the zone, dance.
What kind of music?
I like a lot. Like I do the jam band shit forever. Mm-hmm. I like hip hop as well, but sometimes hip hop can suck if it's not like I saw like Kanye and Jay-Z when they went on tour.
Oh, back in like 2014.
I forget.
13.
The Watch the Throne tour.
Yeah.
And I knew like that would be a sick show because it's going to be artistically like insane.
Yeah.
But like seeing like, I don't know, some people like, it's like I meant to see, I saw, what do you call it? Slaughterhouse, which was a band with like Royce da Five, a rap group.
Yeah.
And it was like in, I forget where it was, but the speakers were busted out. And you couldn't hear them that well. So it's like, so I go to hip hop shows too, but it's got to be specific. Jam bands, jazz. I go to a lot of, I don't do country. That's the only one. I've done bluegrass. I'll see like some, banjo shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not like into like, I won't spend money to see Taylor Swift. I won't go to like, I don't go anything poppy.
Right. I used to no. I'm the same way in that I won't do country. The most country I did was I also have a buddy who's like my concert buddy. He's one of my good friends from high school, Mike, shout out.
Word.
We go to shows together all the time, and he has a big range of music. We go to like metal, hardcore,
that's
rock
fun.
shows.
Yeah.
So fun. It's the best.
Right,
and like those are good to go alone. Like anything, music stuff is good to go alone. Those especially, I feel. So like he's my buddy for that. But he will go see some pop stuff, and he had an extra ticket to see Casey Musgraves.
Oh, okay. She's a great singer.
She's a really great singer. She leans a little bit too country for me to like have her on my Spotify rotation.
Right.
I tried and I just like But when we went, I had the perfect dose of shroom gummies.
Oh, word.
For us.
That's great.
And it was so awesome.
That's awesome.
It was sick.
Dude,
you know?
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was great.
I love when you go to a show and it blows you away. Like I went to see Father John Misty a couple of years back.
Oh, cool.
And I never seen them live, Fleet and Foxes or any of them. I like going to alt shows too.
Yeah.
But alt shows is like I was telling my buddy today, I was like, I gotta remember to stay curious because like that's how you always find the good shit. Like I never was into St. Vincent until I went to Boston Calling Music Festival and I saw her and I was like, dude, this rips. The Yeahs, I bumped into them by accident at a festival. I'm like, this band fucking rips. So I'm like, all right, next time I'm going back into my old self where I'm going to concerts more.
I love that.
Yeah, because I left. I was doing so much comedy and all this stuff like that, but I'm like, and for some reason, which we'll talk about, I've gotten more of a lease on life lately just to be like, I want to go outside.
That's awesome. You got to live your life. That's the part of comedy that you forget about.
Right.
It's like you got to live your life.
Right.
You got to go out there and do that. Yeah, I was a Warped Tour kid.
Oh,
so
word.
That's how I discovered a lot of the music that I like.
That's
listen
awesome
to
though.
today.
They're always good though.
Yeah.
That's great. Wait, you're from? Is that Chicago?
No, New Jersey.
Oh,
But,
Jersey. That's right. Okay.
Warped Tour was like that, like pop punk festival.
Right. Jane's Addiction. Right.
Yeah, they were on there. Like
Social D. Did they ever come?
Yeah, they did. Warped
I've seen
Tour.
them. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I like that. I like pop punk. I do.
I know.
I like how you call it pop because I get annoyed when people are like, I like Green Day. Like I like punk. I'm like, that's not punk
that's
music.
pop punk.
That's pop punk, sweetheart.
You know,
yeah.
and like metal is like what I'm really into. Like I like screamo bands, whatever.
Okay,
but
cool.
My favorite band is My Chemical Romance, which
Oh,
I
word.
feel like such a
That's
like
so funny.
Like I feel like a little kid when I say that because I discovered them when I was 12.
Right.
But I've just been thinking a lot about My Chemical Romance lately because their former drummer died recently. But
Oh no shit, really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, crazy. But anyways, somebody who was hella isolated and ended up, we think, took their own life. So let's hear about this new lease on life that you're talking about.
Oh, I don't know. Like, well, I've been in a lot of therapy for the last. Well, not a lot. I just therapy in general. Going into therapy is a lot of therapy for me. Like,
No,
that was
for
just a
sure.
That was a whole new thing.
How many years has it been? Like, what year? How old were you when you had your first therapy session?
My first therapy. How old was I? Oh my God, I'll say 39.
Yeah.
Yeah, late. Yeah, I come from that era. We don't
totally.
Go, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I never give a shit what my parents think. Really, to be honest with you, nor did like my parents. Like I just never told. I don't tell them shit.
Totally.
I just keep it because it's just easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
parents ask questions because they don't understand.
They are, and then exactly, and then they're like, "Is it about me?" And I'm like, "Well, technically, yeah, but like, it's not like I'm just dealing with it." You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know, it's just trying to like rewire your brain so you don't keep on making the same generational mistakes. What brought you here? You know,
absolutely.
And
it's weird with like. When I look at it, am I in therapy because of my parents? Yeah, but like I don't blame them. I don't
blame them either.
Fault.
They did the best they could with the information they had.
Yeah.
And they didn't grow up with the whole like, gee, how do I feel today? You know what I mean? They never had time. I don't blame. It's not that. It's just trying to figure your shit out because out of 39 years on the planet, you collect data, and you're like, okay, why am I fucking this up? Like, why is this like, why is the same shit happening over and over again? So at 39, I didn't have it was some bitch I met online because it was like during COVID.
Oh, okay.
That was when I first got one. And it was just like, at that point did I have health insurance? I think I did, but I didn't. Also trying to navigate the system pre what we have now was just ridiculous. Like I remember trying to call for a therapist. Oh, it's a lie. I started when I was 38. I got a therapist's name from a dude that was like, I love this therapist. I went to him. He was the worst person I've ever... oh my God, you're bringing up... And then I forgot. I saw a therapist when I crashed my first car after a little drinking incident. And I saw a therapist then. That I must have been 30 maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So big jump in between.
Big jump in between. And I went to him, and I just remember I was crying all the time. And I couldn't even get into the good, into the nitty gritty of it all.
Yeah.
And he was nice, but he was just too, he would just sit there and listen. And I was like, all right, dude, I hear you, but can you, and then I didn't have insurance, and then it was getting expensive. I couldn't afford it, so I stopped. And I also wasn't emotionally there yet anyway. I had to keep on fucking up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got to make those mistakes to have stuff to talk about in therapy.
And I kept on being like, all right. And then, so then I met at 39. I was like, all right, I got to go in. It all stems from wanting a relationship. That's what it all comes from. It's
nice.
So I was like, all right, there's something. I keep on picking the wrong people. I keep on, also like, what the fuck do I know about a relationship? Like, what do I even like?
Yeah.
So, I went to this one chick. She was awful. She was just whatever. She was just a crystal bitch. And then, yeah, she was trying to be helpful, but it was fine. She was like $10 a fucking session, like a month or something.
Yeah, it's like, are you even?
Cheap.
Yeah,
she's not. I didn't even know who she was.
Are you even licensed?
At all, and nothing at all. But I was desperate. And then finally, I went and got on BetterHelp. And I had insurance at the time, but for some reason, I just, what it is? I kept on trying to call for finding out information of what therapist I could have with my old insurance. And they kept on being like, well, what do you need to go in for? I'm like, I just want to talk to someone. Okay. I don't need
that, but that's not enough for insurance companies.
No, they have to know every fucking, I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure it out.
You literally have to be like, I'm going
to kill myself if you don't get me someone.
Yeah.
So finally she's like, okay. That's literally what it came down to.
Yep.
So that was just horrible. And then I got this there. So with BetterHelp, I found this chick, and I was very specific. I was like, I want someone that's old and from the Bronx.
Yeah, keep going.
Because I wanted someone that's like would speak my language, because I needed the training wheels.
Yeah.
So I knew someone could be like, I knew she was from, and she had a PhD, and she went to NYU, and I was like, all right, here's a bitch that's from, worked her way, like she was in her 80s. So the era that she's from, she worked her ass off from the Bronx to go into so I was like, and she was also about biology and neurology. So I really, that got me going. I'm like, oh, great, because I knew, of course, you want to deal with the emotional parts of it all, but I also wanted to understand what the fuck's going on in my brain.
Yeah.
Because I have this problem where I get emotionally hijacked. Which it's funny, now the therapist that I have now, and I've been with her now for 2 years now, maybe 3, maybe 2 years. She's amazing, but she's so funny. The last time I saw her, she goes, I have to tell you, the last 5 times I've seen you, she's like, I've never seen you so stable.
Oh, that's great.
I know, but I was still like, all right, bitch, what was I fucking out of my mind? And I didn't even because you don't know when you're...
know. I always call it a frog in boiling water. If you're in the water while it gets heated up, you don't know that you're boiling.
Kinda, yeah.
But if you get thrown in,
But that also annoys me, because I'm like, well, I was valid with my feelings. Mm-hmm. I guess it's just that I didn't know how to articulate them.
Yes.
In in an effective way, and I don't think I really knew.
Yeah. Well, you said about you would get emotionally hijacked. I think that part of the reason why that can happen is when you don't know how to articulate how you're feeling.
Correct. Yeah, and also because of I have PTSD of childhood shit.
Yeah,
that is still lodged into my brain.
Yeah.
So I revert.
Why do you have PTSD? I grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah, well, yeah, North Jersey, but yeah.
I'm Central Jersey.
Yeah,
I didn't know you're a New Jersey.
Yeah,
person.
I was born in North Jersey, and then we moved a bit, but I lived up there till I was 13.
I love New Jersey people. We're the best.
Yeah, I do love Jersey. I think we get so much bullshit flack by people that never been there and have no clue.
It's because they're jealous. I'm sorry. We have the best music comes out of New Jersey. The best food.
We have a lot of good shit there, man. We do have a lot of good shit, and especially, not to be brat, but in the north part of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I love the shore. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I have cousins from South Jersey, and they're different units.
No, it's the
they're
Pineys.
Country bumpkins. I was like, what? Yeah, is that? I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, you don't even have a straight highway to get into half the roads. I got to get off the road and then drive another 40 minutes.
Yeah, you get off NJ Transit and it's 30
You're
minutes.
Oh, this is why it's the Garden State. This is why.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. There's a reason why we have good tomatoes.
Right.
There's freaking a lot of land that people don't even like.
Right. So you were saying how PTSD.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
No, it's
what
all right.
You were saying.
But the emotional hijacking part. So, that first got initiated by the original therapist I had, and then with my new therapist, we do a lot of emotional regulation. I guess it's emotional regulation. Yeah. Which it's funny, a lot of these things that are I'm stable now. It came out of nowhere. I guess it's because after so many times you're working on shit, and then all of a sudden everything just starts clicking.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. Like, you know, it took a lot. Like, you had to go through all these hurdles until it's like, oh, now I'm starting to see
Yeah.
the
It's
benefits.
It's like working out and seeing the results of working out.
Exactly. It takes forever.
Yeah.
You know,
Forever.
for fucking ever. But, you know, I kind of just kept my head down. And I got to say, thank God for comedy being busy.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of was able to, like, focus on that. But also, you know, getting healthy, too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not... For some reason, when I don't know, like I look back, I'm still like looking back on it. Like when I first started, I drank a lot. I was just drinking a lot. And because it was a social thing for me.
Yeah.
You know, you're hanging out with people and your friends and you're meeting these new people and you're excited and you're like, oh, we're going to be best friends forever.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like your freshman year of college.
For sure.
Right?
100%. Especially when you first start. Like,
right.
Did you go to the Creek in the Cave in Long Island
So
City?
I did a couple times for the mics, but I felt like sometimes when I was doing those open mics, it was like a bunch of dudes jerking off, waiting to get up.
Yeah, well, that's literally what it was.
It was like literally a circle jerk.
Yeah.
And I just was like, all right. So I did a couple of them, and then, the thing happened.
Yeah.
The
The
and then
COVID
they
happened.
left. Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason why I bring it up is because that is where I remember, like, really.
Oh, yeah, I
fucking
got hammered there.
cutting loose.
Oh, yeah, I got
you know?
hammered there.
'Cause,
I
like,
went, yeah.
You would do your mic, and then you would just hang out with people.
Right, and socialize.
And like the high school aspect, like, is so. I remember that I had to go like 6 months being in comedy before I started making friends. You know,
Right.
And so that like liquor really was a
right.
good social
And then with
lubricant.
COVID hit, it was like I was doing a mic. I ran a mic with my boy Levi, who, you know, he was like my first comedy buddy. And that was a whole different hang. You know, we were drinking out in the park then, and we were just constantly like, it was just.
Oh, yeah. Those
a
parties
party.
were
Dude,
so
that's
fun.
dude, the summer. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people died,
No,
but the summer
I
of
know.
COVID was fucking awesome.
For New York City comedians,
Oh
we
my
had a
God,
great
it was unreal, dude. I remember I was like, "Hey, mom, I'm not gonna see you for a while because I'm just gonna go back to the city because this is gonna rip." And it ripped all the way into like December.
Yeah.
Until I had to go back to work. But yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, so I was just social. I was just doing a lot, and then when I got into New York, I was still kind of like, you know, you're getting through these like you're doing all these new things. So to make change, it doesn't like you don't realize you're doing all these new things that you're like living your regular life, but yet, however, you're not making the changes, even though you think your life is changing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when I got in New York, and then once I got my, I found my flow there, then I was like, and while I was doing therapy and a couple of other emotional things happened, I was like, all right, finally, like, as of like my therapist said, as of 5 times she's seen me, which I've broken it up now. I don't see her every week. I have to see her every 3 weeks because then I get obsessed about things that we're talking about. So I'm like, just tell me, you know, we'll work on things and then I'll do 3 weeks of work. And then I'll be like, okay.
Are you good with homework?
Yes. I'm very much of a homework bitch.
Gotcha.
Because it's just like, especially now where I'm at the level now, I'm like, oh, I could sit there and I'm like, I can look at things now in a very like logic way.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, okay, I remember it. Now I'm going into past shit and I'm like, okay, now I see what made me go there.
Yeah.
And it's not a right or bad thing. It's not a right or wrong thing. It's just that's just where I was. And that person, X, Y, and Z, maybe should have not have done it the way they did it.
Yes.
But it caused some people just, you know, causes trauma.
Yeah.
You know, you what do you call it? You react to each other. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and there's something else that I learned in therapy is so much of what I was doing that was destructive for myself was a matter of survival as a child.
yes, right. That's,
So,
yeah,
like,
of course, yeah.
So I didn't even realize I went into therapy. Like, it was an unconscious thing, I think, that got me into therapy where,
Right.
like, I had so much to talk about with food.
Right.
And I didn't realize that a lot of the habits that I had around food specifically
Right.
were stuff that I had picked up as a kid because of shit that happened as a kid.
Right, 100%. Like, there's still things I'm learning, like with food specifically. Like, now that I got the, like, I never understood my relationship. I never even thought about my relationship to food. I always was thinking about, oh, well, alcohol's the culprit.
Right.
Alcohol's the culprit. If all this, everything that I have is alcohol. And I'm like, now that the alcohol has gotten, like, I've gotten that into, now I'm like, okay, now food, now let's,
Yeah.
where this, and it's finding the sources of all those things and reactors. It's like kind of just following a trail of shit
Yeah.
and just seeing where the dead body is.
Seriously.
It's
You have a
like-
treasure map trying to
seriously,
find the
blood and bullshit
Yeah.
and tears, and you're just going through it, and it's just, but yeah, like I didn't realize I hoarded food. I
And
hoarded it.
like hoarded food. Didn't realize that it was a weird thing to do.
Right,
So
didn't
tell
realize
me
at all.
about that. So tell me
Well,
about
I
the
would just
food
do
hoarding.
these things where it's like I'd hide it. Like I'd take it with me and hide it. I did it all the way when I had PA as a production assistant for a very long time. And sometimes I never like food security.
Yeah.
So I would like, especially when I was broke all the time, I'd steal a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then also I'm not emotionally happy and I'm working all hours of the evening and I'm eating like when you're working on like Chicago PD in the winter at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and they show up with pizza, you're stuffing your
You're
face because
eating
you're like,
that pizza.
yeah, you are, because you're just like, I have nothing else.
Yeah. And you're
I have this pizza. That's the only thing that's giving me joy right now.
Yeah, and you're sustaining yourself like when you're working as like a PA on
Right.
set like that. People need to realize like the food that they give you is like, you know, like little fun packs of Oreos,
Right,
like,
right.
Welch's gummy candies,
Right.
like
yeah. Like Crafty is like,
yeah, you just like. And
I mean,
that's
even
what
they
you're
would have
eating.
sushi and shit. I mean, but they would feed us non-fucking stop.
Yeah,
Non-stop.
because they have to.
Yeah, well, they have to, and it's just like, but it was the only
Yeah.
thing that.
Yeah, but it's so funny. It's
Yeah.
because I do that too. Like if I'm
Yeah.
ever doing background work on set, like
Right.
I am anytime I walk past like a crafty station, like
Right.
I pluck something and I put it in my pocket for later.
Right. It's,
Like
yeah.
And it got really bad when I was unemployed for a few
yeah.
weeks because I would go to like networking events
Right.
and there would be just bundles of food everywhere
Right.
and I would fill my tote bag.
Right. Right.
Because
Even
it was
though
just
it's
like, I'm
like,
gonna need this later.
yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. And Bones, I would do that a lot, especially when I lived in LA. I just bring shit home, and then it's like I had an exhausting day, and then to relax, I was like, food gave me comfort.
Yeah.
So I was always looking for that. I was always looking for comfort in every way, with the alcohol, with drugs, with food. It's always 0 to 100.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
when you were a kid, did you find comfort in food?
Yeah, but also it was just the way we spoke in my house. It was like love language.
Yeah.
It was always food. Like my dad'd be like, "What did you eat today?" It'd be like, "Oh,
topic
food."
conversation.
Topic conversation. It was always, "What are we eating for dinner?"
Yeah.
Food was always, Christmas, everything. It was all about the 7 fishes, lasagna. It was all about like that. Not like, we're not like, oh, we can't wait to spend. We fucking know. It's everyone put food in their mouth and shut the fuck up
Yeah.
and enjoy the food.
Yeah.
and
Clean
that's
your
it.
plate, family.
Yeah, kind of. But it wasn't that, like, that wasn't always the thing.
No
It was
one
just
had
that
an issue cleaning their plate.
No, yeah. It was like kind of like, because I grew up with 2 older brothers who were football players and they were massive.
Yeah.
And then I had a sister, and then me, and then my aunt. Like, we had extended family living with us too. So it was kind of
Full
like
house.
it was a full house. So it was kind of like, my mom's like, putting out a trough of food,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing my brothers eat, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna eat like them because
Right.
that's, I'm looking up to them because they're like football stars, and we had cheerleaders sneaking in our house, decorating the house for the big game. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. So I saw this like adoration, and so I was always trying to be like, they were dating the hot chicks. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
and growing up in North Jersey in the 80s, it wasn't that like open. It was like, you're either if you're a chick, you're either a cheerleader, a tennis player, or a basketball player.
Yeah.
It wasn't all this, like, until I moved to PA, it was like, there's field hockey, there's skiing, there's soccer. It wasn't like, not only because of Jersey, just because in the era in which I was in. You
Right.
know?
Right.
So, and then, I've been Jersey. I didn't fit it in with anyone. So it's just kind of like, my mom worked at a diner. They were working all the time. So I think it was just kind of a thing. It was like they weren't paying attention and I was just stuffing
Fending
my
for
fucking
yourself.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
know?
totally.
You know?
Especially when like it is a full house and everybody is eating.
Yeah.
Being worried that you're not going to have enough. So like that probably is why
right.
you're hiding
So you're just
food
like,
in
you
your
have to
room.
grab it when you
Mhm.
can. Otherwise, it won't be there.
Yeah.
So that, and it wasn't like, and then they saw I was gaining weight. But my mom put me on Slim Fast when I was like 8.
So was
And-
that your first introduction to dieting?
Yeah, I guess so. I
Some
was
fast is a
7.
rough one.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was fucking horrible. I puked. I
Awful.
tried to drink it, remember, and I puked it all over the place, and everyone was like making fun. It was horrible. I have a joke about it. Yeah, it was rough, dude. It was
You puked
rough.
in school.
Yeah, all that Slim Fast everywhere. I remember I was like, I still could see the garbage can because I was just like, bleh. It was just like, it was so gross, dude.
Yeah.
And then, but there was also like, oh my God, there were so many. There was Jenny Craig in high school. There was Weight Watchers. There was, the anorexia thing. I didn't do I hated bulimia because I hated puking. I couldn't get into the puking thing. But anorexia was great because I was just like, all right, I'll eat a breadstick and I'll just eat that.
Yeah.
And I lost weight. I lost a lot of weight in high school. And then the thing is, though, I've always been built big.
Yeah.
So everyone would be like, Jess, you look great. It wasn't like
we're worried.
We're worried. It was like, man, you look great. And I was like, okay.
I'm doing it.
And then snapped freshman year of high school of college, where I went to college and I was like, fuck this. And I became the party girl.
Oh, new identity. New
So,
location, new identity, new people.
And I also had a bad thing happen to me my senior year of high school. I went to Woodstock 99. There was a little bit of a passed out situation.
Yeah.
And, woke up with a dude on top of me situation.
Right.
And then I also had a dude that I had a crush on. And then we hooked, like we had sex, and then he was like, he ghosted me. So it was just kind of like, when I went into college, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And the dudes I started meeting that were friends of mine, they were like, Levin, you're a fun hang. Because I was playing, the year before that I was playing rugby. So I started building this character of drinking in high school and being the fun girl.
Yeah.
And being the party girl.
Party animal.
And the dudes were all like, I was getting attention from them in that regard. And I'm like, well, if they're not going to fuck me, at least we'll hang out.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're not hopefully not gonna rape me.
Yeah, word. So I was just kind of like, I became that big tough girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
One
all
of the
right,
boys.
yeah, I'm one of the boys. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
And not even realizing that's what I was doing.
Total defense mechanism.
Total. It was total. So it was just kind of like, and I remember trying to reach out to certain, like, I went to a therapist at the school, and they're like, I can't help you. They didn't give me a name or nothing. They were very just like, you need to go get professional help. And I was like 18. I was just like, well, but I didn't want to tell my parents. So, in college, I just created this. I wore pajama pants. My friends called me the dude from The Big Lebowski because I came out that year.
Yeah.
And I was rolling around with pajama pants all the time. And they were just like, Levin, you're the shit. And I went to concerts and, I did a bunch of acid. I just was fun. It was a theater school too. So I was just kind of like the jock of the school.
Right.
So I just became a fun bitch, and that carried me for a long time.
When did you sort of realize, like, maybe you didn't even realize you wanted to shed that identity, but when was it where you were like, I don't want to be the friend, I want to be the girlfriend of somebody?
Well, I had a couple dudes where I wanted to be, but like I said, some of them were not healthy.
Yeah,
they had their own issues.
Well, also because I'm kind of getting this from you. I was the same way where, like, when I really wanted a relationship, I would have taken anything.
Oh, yeah.
Any fucking thing.
Especially if I am attracted to them. And it's not even sometimes looks. It's just based on something.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Their hands, pheromones, or anything like that. It's really odd.
Yeah.
It's annoying, though, because the pheromone thing is still a thing. Like, I had a guy hitting on me last night at the concert. And I was a bitch just because I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
And he was like, how's your night? I'm like, don't worry about it. And then I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I complain about not having a boyfriend. And I'm like, well, dude, I'm not like, but I wasn't attracted to him.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of weird. He was just weird. I just got a weird feeling from him.
For sure. Yeah.
And I'm like, I just came here to eat an edible and eat some shrooms and just have fun and dance. I didn't want to meet the love of my life unless the pheromones were like, this is the love of your life.
Yeah, this is the love of your life.
Correct.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, there's some people could say you were like, oh, maybe you were on shrooms and an edible and like it made you like freaked out or cautious of this person. I think it made you intuitive.
Right.
And you knew that this person was not right.
Too, I had a lovely couple, and they were standing like, we found a great little spot.
Uh-huh.
I was right, like, I didn't have to be in the mix of it, but I was right, like, watching everything and still grooving, and I could hang my coat on the thing.
Love.
And they were awesome, and I would, like, we both vibed, and they're like, yeah, put your hand in there, and they would go to the bathroom and stuff, and I'd hold the spot.
Right.
And every time they come back, they'd fill up my water.
Oh,
so I didn't have to leave.
Yeah.
I had the spot. They would go get drinks, and they'd fill up my water bottle and be like, here you go, buddy. And then we just kept that thing going.
Symbiosis.
So when he came in, so when he came by, he was like, what's up? I'm like, I have friends here, and they're bringing me water. You got to move.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, you having a good night? I'm like, great night.
Great night. Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Well, listen, if you know this is not your vibe,
it was
then
just, so I just kind of like, and I guess I just kind of like, nope. And then it's like, just keep moving, bro. Don't waste your time with me.
Right.
Just keep on going. I'm not going to do like that. I'm just keep on moving.
Yeah.
You know?
So, okay. So, party girl in
Yeah.
college, life of the party.
Right.
And you said at the top of the episode that, you know, you're trying to get out there, do more things, like go to concerts and stuff. So, like, when you were in the party girl phase of like being a young 20 something, would isolation creep in, or was that something that kind of came later in your 20s?
When
would isolation creep in?
Isolation came in. That goes back and forth. Because it's just there's no like linear thing. Like I do remember, I remember the healthiest point of my life, which I wasn't even healthy because I was still not eating much, but like I just felt in control of everything. And I wasn't drinking. I wasn't eating much, but I was into what I was into, and I didn't give a fuck. Like, I liked musicals. I liked makeup. I'd paint my nails. I liked playing rugby. I liked playing sports. I liked everything, and I was doing everything. It was when I was, like, 16, and I remember, like, it was just awesome.
Right.
Everything was just perfect. And then, like, the crush thing happened, and devastation of that, and then a friend of mine who was my best friend hooked up with a dude I liked. It was just, like all these emotional, like, plus family shit, which is its own bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you eating?
I hope that's a bone.
No, it looks like paper.
Oh, that's okay. If it's
All right.
paper. I just hope it's not any of your shit.
No, you're fine, dude. No, you're good. It's fine. My stuff's over there. There's nothing.
Cool.
Good for you, Finny.
So he's finding something.
I love that dog. So cute. I want one. So then I get these bouts of depression. Freshman year of college, I remember I was just depressed as fuck. Like my first couple of months, I was just really depressed.
Same.
Really bad.
That was rough.
And I thought about transferring. I thought about all this shit. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was at a loss because my parents didn't go to college. So it's like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
My whole identity was going to be like, because I went to theater school. I'm like, I'm going to be an actor. This is what I want to do. So it's like, I don't want to give up on, I'm 18. So I was just like, so depression hit in then, but then again, the party thing came in, and I was like, all right. And then I started going to like shows all the time. Like this is like when the Village Voice was still around. You could open it up and be like, oh, what shows are like.
Right.
So I, did all that, and then I graduate college. Isolation kicks in. Then we start. I leave New York because I have no options. There's no job coming in. My buddy lives in Hilton Head, so I moved down there. And we started a theater company. But I remember feeling complete depression again, change in that regard.
Yeah.
And I drank, but then I would go hide in my room and just stay away from everyone. Like it was just like I couldn't leave my bed.
Yeah.
But I was still like, I'd get up and go to work. But if I had nothing on that day, I just would either drink the night before and just
make it
sleep.
Out for the count.
Out for the count the next days and not do anything.
Yeah.
Occasionally try to go to the beach because there's like two pieces of me. I'd be like, Levin, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Get up. What are you doing? And it was like, so that hit in. And then that kind of on and off lasted, we're going to say 15 years.
Yeah.
It just went that way for a long time. And then each time I try to fight in a sense of like, okay, you want to do film, TV, fine, but you're not going to be good enough to be an actor, fine. You can work in production. So I just did that for a long time. I kept on taking the second rate part of it all.
Was it you in your mind being like, oh, you're not going to be good enough for that? Or had you just been turned down so many times that you were like...
Both.
It was like...
Turned down, ashamed.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. So let's just... What I want to say is people that aren't skinny like us.
Yeah.
And we want to be camera facing.
Yes.
What are we thinking? Like,
well,
what's wrong with us?
Right? Unless we're some sort of character. And
right.
Like,
Unless
I don't want to say who. I also grew up with people being like, just the pretty girls get what they want.
Yeah.
You're not the pretty girl. So it's like, it's important for you. Like, they kind of like that. And my mom was never like, oh, that's gross. But my mom's like, hide, your boobs are so big. You need to minimize them. You need to hide them.
Yourself. Be small.
Wear big shirt. Wear this. Exactly. All that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? There was a lot of, but there was a lot of shame.
For sure. For sure. And but you know what's so fucked up? It all came from a place of love.
Yeah, they meant well.
They're
meant just trying
really
to protect
well.
you from whatever. And it's like, well, instead of like,
yeah.
My whole family, my dad especially, and I talk about it on stage, try to prepare me for a very unfair, unjust, violent world. But doing so, it made me cut things out a little bit.
Yeah.
and be like always ready to fight.
Yeah. Totally.
Whereas sometimes you don't gotta fight.
You don't always need the mitts up.
I don't. Yeah,
You don't always need that
you don't
protection.
even need that up. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, like my mom, you know, don't trust people. You know, they're probably just doing that because they want this. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know
for
what I mean?
sure. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
So like you said that there's two sides of you. You know, there's the side that you're like, come on, I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna go live my life. Then there's the side that I'm just gonna rot all day. And like, would you have those sort of swells of energy? Would it be like, I'm gonna do a total lifestyle rehaul? Like we're on Atkins, we're you know
occasionally, yeah. I had a couple of times like when I first moved to LA, and you know what's funny? I'd build a momentum and then I'd move.
Because I moved at a clip.
What's up?
You pulled a geographic.
Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah, so it's when you don't want to like change what you're doing, so you just change your location.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is it was always a job or something. Like I'd have another opportunity, but like I was in New York and I remember I was going through hard times. Also, I was partying a lot. I'm doing a lot of blow at night. I'm fucking. You know what I mean?
That'll trash your your mental
health, and then drinking and stuff. But then I was like, and then all of a sudden I'd stop, and be like, that's it. And then I got a job at LA Fitness Center, which is now on Equinox on 59th Street, underneath the Queensboro Bridge. And I worked there when I was like, I don't know, maybe late 20s, before Long Island City blew up. Because I remember my dad was like, why don't we buy a condo? And I was like, Dad, I don't want to live there. I know, my fucking father was
the
ahead
one
of his
time he didn't listen to your fucking
I know,
dad.
they listened to my dad. I was like, nah, he's like, I'm like, I don't want to take care of it. He goes, I don't know that because they were building Silver Cup Studio there. He goes, De Niro's it's going to bring in a lot of money over there. And he was fucking right. Because it used to be a shithole. Long Island City was fucking awful. Like, it was
this
a
place
shithole.
used to be a shithole.
Yeah. So over here, it used to be, I remember I nearly got into a fist fight with a bunch of kids from the freaking hood over here. One of them pulled out a gun. It was crazy. We had all these rooftop parties. Because back in the day, we do all these raves in Greenpoint and shit like that. That was fun. But anyway, so I went back and forth so I would do like a lifestyle change where it's like, I'm not eating carbs.
Yeah.
I'm not eating carbs, and I started working out again. I'd lose weight, and then things are going well, and I'm like, all right. And then New York, I'd run out of a job, and I'm like, all right, I don't have any answers. And then I had friends that lived in Hilton Head at that point, and I was working in their kitchens, and they're like, why don't you move back down here for the summer? And I'm like, all right, let me do that. I can write and do acting stuff while I'm down there. Fucking didn't know.
Yeah.
I go back down there again. I'm partying all over again, and I've lost the momentum that I got from when I was making the change. But that would consistently happen here and there.
Right.
And I was moving at a clip of every 6 months for a while there for a good 10 years.
You were really nomadic.
Yes. I was very, very nomadic. Part of me because I wanted the adventure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to travel. And I was hoping I don't know. I was hoping time. I knew time would wear down. Like I was kind of like a dog that's like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just need time.
Right.
I just need time.
I feel like it feels like you kind of knew eventually you would settle because you've been in New York a while now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, oh my God, this is the longest I've lived in one place ever. Yeah, I've been back now. 7 years. 8 years? Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I'd come back and forth.
Right.
So yeah, no, this is the first time in my life where
you've been planted.
And I've had my own apartment. Like I've had not my own, but I've had an apartment with a lease in my name.
Yeah.
And all that kind of
shit.
shit.
That's a big change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just recently moved. I was in one place that I was in for a long time, and I just moved, and I got rid of so much shit.
How was that? Because
that was amazing.
When you're a hoarder, I know you said food, but like that can bleed into other stuff.
Yeah, I had a lot of shit from years on.
Yeah.
Dude, I paid $500 for 1-800-Junkers or something. They came in and just picked it up and donated some stuff, and
you were able to let that stuff go.
Yes,
really.
I'm telling you, like with all the work, it clicked.
Wow,
when I was
that's
moving,
great.
Yeah, when I was moving from my old place in Sunnyside, my landlord decided to sell his house. God bless him. He's gonna made a lot of money on that. But I love the apartment. We're on the second floor. I had a roommate. She was cool. She was hardly ever there. She was dumb. That was the only problem. But when he decided, he's like, well, I'm selling the house. I didn't even wait for him to sell it. I was like, all right, good. That was for some reason like a cue. I'm like, I'm ready to leave.
Right.
I can't live on my own, but I am ready to leave and switch it up. I don't want to leave Sunnyside because I love being there. I love being
Right.
in Queens, but I'm like, I'm ready for a change. I wanted to get rid of everything.
Yeah.
I even tried to sell my couch. I'm like, I don't want the couch. I don't want, but thank God I ended up keeping it because I couldn't sell it. And I was like, all right, fine, well, good. We need a couch anyway.
Yeah.
But I got rid of so much shit. So now I'm much more of like, give it away, give it
Yeah,
away, give it away.
you don't
I'm
need
not,
it.
I don't want it anymore. I don't.
Therapy, man.
Yeah, man. It was like literally like, and also like the food thing's now only becoming clearer now too with that and facing that hurdle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long hurdle. I did try to get on Wegovy.
Yeah.
I hated it.
You hated it.
I absolutely
How long?
hated it.
How long were you on it?
3.5 months.
3.5 months.
Yeah.
And it just made you sick.
Made me sick. I couldn't take a shit, to be honest with you.
Oh.
It was the worst. I was like, this is the worst feeling on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, when I first, I was so, like, at this point, I was like, listen, I was so fucking desperate. I was like, I need to, like, at least cross this off the list.
Yeah.
So I got approval for it, and then I went right in, and then finding it is so ridiculous, too. Having to call these fucking pharmacies to see if you had it, and then getting ripped off because some of them charge you $100 over the money because they want to make money off of it. So it's just, like, consistently an issue. And I was just like, so what happened was I was on it, but I wasn't losing weight.
Yeah.
I really wasn't losing. I was like, it was just,
and all you ever hear about people online.
it's just like,
talk
oh,
about
just,
it's
and
a
this bitch is
miracle.
eating. Yeah, it's a miracle. And I'm watching this bitch eat Oreos in like in a commercial, and she's eating this stuff, and she's like, I'm on that. I'm like, that's not even the proper way you're doing it, you stupid bitch. You're not
Right.
supposed to be eating Oreos and you're taking Wegovy. You're supposed to be doing a whole lifestyle fucking change.
Yeah,
So-
because if you're on Wegovy and eating Oreos, that Oreos is supposed to be the thing that fills you up.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's your nutritional.
That's all you
that's
get.
what you're learning from
Yeah.
this. Is that's how you're learning to get your nutrition.
Yeah.
Is still being able to eat like shit.
And that's why these bitches with love get off of the needles and gain the weight back right away.
Right.
Because they never learned
They
how to
just It's not
stay
yeah.
off of it. And something that people talk about online with the weight loss drugs is food noise.
Right.
Now, food noise is just that voice in your head or that feeling in your head or your body that like it's
Right.
that insatiable hunger. It's not.
Right.
It's not even a hunger. It's just like a obsession with food, and so you keep eating and keep eating.
Right.
I fucking struggle with that.
Right.
And the GLP-1s take that away.
Right.
It does something in your brain,
It does.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
But then you go off and it comes back.
Right. So there's a couple things like before I went on like my last ditch effort to try to do this on my own. I went to the Wegovy was I got this I don't know nutritionist but kind of like the first therapist from a company called Nourish, and I hated it.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting.
also, I was a nut job too. I'll be honest with you too. I just didn't like her approach. We didn't vibe, but I hated it. But then they ended up blocking me because we got into a full-on argument, which is crazy. They blocked me from the freaking app, and I couldn't even like log or reach out. I was like, whatever. So
Wow.
I was like, fuck it. So then I go on Wegovy. What happened was I'm on it for 3 months, and I'm just like I'm ignoring the fact that I don't feel good. I'm trying to like take Metamucil now so I can shit. I'm trying to like, I'm not eating much, but I'm just feel like everything's tasting metallic-y.
Ugh.
And it's just like kind of, I just feel gross. I just
Yeah.
feel gross. And I don't realize how bad it is because what happened was I go on the road for a week. A week. I went on the road and I didn't have it with me. And I was like, oh, I'll take it when I get back, because it would have been like a week and a day that I'm owed to do it. You're supposed to take it once a week. So it wasn't that off.
Yeah.
So when I was off for that week, my body just felt better. And I was just going for some reason, again, I'm taking mushroom. It was like the timing of things. I was going on hikes while I was on the road because I was in New England.
Oh, love.
Yeah, me too.
So great.
It's so great. So I had a thing where I only had 2 nights off of comedy. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to stay up here. And I like being in Portland, Maine anyway. Mm-hmm. And so it was just kind of nice because I just started doing outdoor activities. Plus, before I went on the road, I ended up finding a nutritionist I did like through a company called Berry Street.
Okay.
And I found a chick and she's awesome. I'm trying to write a joke about it because she's also a zoologist.
Oh.
So she feeds animals at a zoo. And she has clients that, it's amazing. She's like feeding chimpanzees and then talking to me and
That's
whatever
amazing.
other clients too of hers.
Yeah.
So she knew I was on Wegovy. She didn't be like, she was just very like awesome. Like she didn't judge, she didn't have a thing. So, but when I got back and I was like, I feel so much better. And all the work we've done, like I realized I like being outside. I have to go outside. If I don't, I will be depressed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I have to go outside. So I've been also lately getting into like hiking or just going for a walk. It doesn't, because I would go to the gym. I would work out my ass off, but you can't outrun your mouth.
Yeah.
And I'd work my dick off at the gym, and that would got me more frustrated. But I went through bouts of like I'd go fucking boxing hardcore.
Yeah.
I'd do this shit hardcore, and it was like. It was kind of, I was doing everything for the wrong reasons. I was like, I want to lose this weight because my birthday's coming up and a dude I like is going to be there and I want to look good in this dress and I want him to see I can lose weight and not be, it was always for a dude. It was always like, I want him to know I'm not a slob and I'm going to do better and I'm going to be a better, like it equated to me to losing weight that I'd be a better person.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. That sucked.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's all, but it also doesn't help. And like, this is not to be a whiny baby,
Yeah.
but like, you do get treated better when you're skinny.
When you're losing weight, everyone's like, oh, you look great. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
get it. I hope that, as I'm doing it, I do get people that are like, you look great. Of course.
Right.
It's just a cycle. It's just the nature of human nature.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Of
of course.
And if you don't, I'd be more like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize how much I equated to be like, if I lose weight, I'm a better person.
Totally.
Yeah. And that was crazy.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm so convoluted, but
No,
like,
it's good.
so it was just a lot. So it was kind of just all these things with regular therapy. Even with regular, for a while there, I had to get on medication too. I was just really like, I was walking down the street and I was just cry.
Yeah.
I was, woof, it was a lot, man. And that was during my time auditioning at New York Comedy Club too.
Oof.
Which is why I pushed off
The
the
overwhelm.
audition.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just going through a lot of shit at that time. I was upset about a lot of things, and it was a lot going on. And so I was working through it, and I was on meds. I was on depression meds, anxiety meds, all these little cocktails of shit. And then as I started to, I started unraveling the layers. I was like, okay, I don't need the handlebars for me. Like some people need to take all the time. I get it. For me, I'm like, okay, I can now think about these things without having an emotional fucking breakdown.
Right. Right.
So, as much so I was like, okay, I feel good. So now I'm not on the meds. I got them off. And then with the Wegovy thing and coming back, and I told my nutritionist at Barry, I was like, man, I'm off of that shit. I don't like it. And she's like, I can't tell you how happy I am to hear that you naturally came to that conclusion. She goes, because I have clients that either have been on it and now they can't gain weight and they're like, I don't know what to do. It's like their body's just and she's like, I'm not saying there's like a good or bad thing with this stuff, but we just don't know.
We just don't know.
And she's like, it's better and you'll be much more empowered by the work you're doing than you just taking a shot. And I was like, I just don't. The basic bottom line is I have to take a shit.
Yes.
If I don't take a shit in the morning, I'm like, what is going on? And, exactly. So I just didn't feel like my body. I didn't realize what I was doing too. Also with that drug, what it does is it makes you like the food digest slower.
Yeah, dude.
But because of that, it felt like it was digesting slower, so it was like stuck and it wasn't leaving. So I just constantly felt gross.
Yeah, and people talk about these burps, the sulfuric burps,
Yeah.
and it's because the food's in it's rotting food in your stomach.
That's disgusting.
That's what that is, people.
That's crazy.
And like now that you aren't on Wegovy, like you've given yourself the gift of going out on a hike and then taking a shit after.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's
It's fucking great,
amazing.
dude.
Like
so now I'm getting into like running.
That.
I'm getting into like jogging. I suck at it. I absolutely suck at it.
You have
it's
to suck
embarrassing.
at it. You
but
have to suck at
I
it
like
first.
to go outside. I run outside.
Yeah.
I'm hardly going to the gym really unless it's like occasionally I'm like, oh, I'll go there because it has a sauna. So I'm like, all right, cool, especially in the
love
winter.
That.
Yeah, me too. So I'll go there. And also if I want to do, a lot of weight, but I'm trying to reintroduce myself to cardio again.
Yeah.
Because and also I realized too with the running, I'll take a mushroom gummy and go for a run.
Oh, that's awesome.
I get a lot of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of clarity.
I think that something that kept me from exercising for so long was just feeling excluded from it. Like it just felt like something that was too expensive and like only for skinny people.
Oh, word, man.
And then once I realized that like, no, I can go to a bar class and eat shit.
Yeah,
I can suck at it.
Yeah.
It opened up this whole world to me of like, oh, go and be bad. And then just this morning I went to a bar class and I was doing shit that I didn't have the ability to do
Right.
4 weeks ago at my
Right.
first class.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, like
Yeah.
why isn't exercise marketed like this of
Right.
like suck at first
Right.
and then go and feel better.
Right.
And I think what you mentioned before about doing things for the right reasons, right reasons, or
whatever
just
the reasons that would empower you,
that are empowering.
Yeah.
The stuff that's outside of yourself, doing it for a guy,
Right.
doing it to look good for this, doing it to look good.
Yeah.
Don't do it to look good.
Yeah.
Do
no.
it for your mental.
That's what I'm like. I'm realizing it's like I'm doing for my. I like the fact that I can go up a flight of stairs and not be fucking out of breath like a motherfucker anymore right now. I like the fact that I'm not drinking and then smoking a pack of cigarettes at the end of the night because I just, you know what it is, I don't want to feel bad anymore.
Yeah,
That's what it is. I don't want, like, even with my anger issues that I have, I don't want, and the people that like I still have a hard time forgiving.
Yeah,
I don't want the burden anymore.
it's like a cancer.
Yeah, it is. And I've always said this. I was like, you don't hold grudges. It ages you. And I'm a big believer in that. I don't like holding grudges. Don't get me wrong. I'll get angry and be like, motherfucker, I hope you stub your motherfucking toe.
Yeah.
And I hope you fucking bomb tonight. You know, I'll have those mean thoughts. I'll have those horrible thoughts. I'll slip up too, talking to a friend and be like, I hope he's dead. You know what I mean? You get angry, you know? But I'm not like, I'm not holding on, like, I'm not like being vengeful. Like, I'm not going to go after you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of, but I'm getting to the point now where I don't even want any of that. I'm just like, kind of like go away.
And it's a good point of view to have because I feel like when you kind of let outside sources kind of make up how you like people perceiving you, it's like, oh well, I'm the girl that curses people. Like I'm the person that,
like, I was for that for a long time, but like that person did a mean thing and I have to let them know that they did a mean thing.
Yeah,
no one,
because that's
I'm
who
not
I
gonna
am.
exactly, and I'm not gonna enable that behavior. I'm gonna call it out, but then you end up looking like the asshole when you do, because you have to you gotta let process. I'm learning to let process do its process. Don't try. I didn't realize how much of a control freak I was with shit.
Oh yeah,
you know, I didn't. You know. I wasn't trying to control because I'm like, I have to get it wasn't that. It was just like, I just want to make it better.
Yeah.
I just want to make it better. I just want to make it right.
And it's a way to calm yourself.
Right. And
totally.
Yeah. Right. And I just didn't realize how much that overrided my thinking.
When you mentioned that you were on meds for a little bit, you're not on now, but I'm sure you're probably one of the first people in your family to be medicated.
Yeah.
So was that like a trip? Was that weird for you to?
There was like still
on?
The two things. It's like, because even when I started, I'm like, I'm only taking this for a little while. They're like, it's fine. It's not a big, you know, like their psychiatrist like, okay, we're going to put you on sertraline and then we're going to put you in that. And I'm like, all these? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. It's all that. I'm like, okay, but how do I know if I'm being me?
Yeah.
I started getting caught up in that. I'm like, am I being me, or is this because of the... It's so weird. I've done blow, I've done mushrooms, I've done acid, I've drank, I like, but yet it's like my brother too. It's like, oh, but this is like where you're drawing the line, Levin.
This is what's
changing my personality. The amount of drinking you fucking did and pounding sausage and peppers at 3 a.m.
Seriously, though. But will I lose my edge?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of. You know what I mean? Like, will it fix things and I'll be fine? You know, it's like, so for a while there it was.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to Dubai for a wedding and I had to bring the shit with me. And that was nerve wracking because they're very strict about drugs.
Yeah.
But I'm an idiot because I didn't know what the drugs were. I'm not bringing heroin. I'm just bringing mood stabilizers. They're like, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, dude, I called the consulate and I freaked the fuck out. I was like, if I go there and get arrested, because Brittany Griner thing just happened. I was like, if that happens to me, no one's coming for me, man. I am not going to Dubai to go to prison. Fuck that. It was crazy. And I called the consulate. She's like, how many meds do you have? I'm like, 4. She's like, 4? That's a lot. I'm like, all right, thanks for the judgment, bitch. You think I want this either? I didn't think I'd be here. I didn't know I'd be crying when I look at a fucking piece of bread. But here we are, bitch. Here we are.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. It's like, you're diabetic. Can I bring my insulin to Dubai?
Seriously. And it's like, you know, so, you know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, but like when you don't, like...
Yeah.
the people like that breed of human is dying out
It
because
is.
like everybody's so medicated and therapized
Right,
now that
right.
it's like not at all weird or taboo to
No.
have any sort of cognitive dissonance around taking medication.
Right. No.
That is so funny.
Right.
Oh man. There's something else you said that I forgot. I always do this.
you're
Something
fine.
about meds. Oh, traveling.
Yeah.
So you like to see the world.
Yeah.
You would pick up your life every 6 months and go and
Yeah.
move and do something. Have you traveled abroad a lot?
Not a fair share,
fair
but not
share.
a lot. But a fair. I'm hoping to make it more.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you ever feel like, because I'm getting over this personally, do you ever feel like your weight stops you from wanting to do that?
I know because I put on this character where I was like, "Fuck you, I'm bulldozing it." So I just became the bulldozer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing it.
You
Yeah.
charge through.
I charge through.
As you fucking should.
Yeah.
Like, as you should, but
Good or bad, charge through.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna bulldoze you.
Yeah, like
And
you'll be
Yeah, I'm like not even giving you an opportunity to be
any
good
kind of way.
I'm just gonna run you over.
Okay. All right. And how do you feel about that?
Again, because also I'm kind of like the word's not out. Like I have a minor case of borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
But it's not to the point where I'm changing characters. You know what I mean? It's more
Yeah.
of like survival thing.
Yeah,
in a
totally.
So, I think what it is, where is the 0 to 100 thing. But now that I'm slowing down, is what it's the major key. Because
Right.
even with eating, I'm just like, because back in the day, I'd go into a fog mode.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. I'll be maybe pissed about something or my energy's all souped up. I'm excited about something and I'm just like buttering a piece of bread and I'm like, rah, 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 and then before I know it, I'm like, why is there half a stick of butter on this fucking thing? Like, but that's like
No,
with
it's so
anything.
real.
With drinking,
Yeah.
with talking to someone, I'd black out kind of. Like, I'm just like the emotional euphoria of like, and at the same time numbing. It's weird. I
Yeah.
don't know how to. You get it?
No,
Like,
I know
because I remember
exactly
being
what you
young
mean.
and I'd stuff my face to the point where I'm so full I'm gonna vomit, but I'm also numb.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird combination. So I was doing that emotionally with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, now that I'm doing much more emotional regulation, I mean, I went and did worksheets on this fucking shit. I'm doing attachment things in a book. I am working.
You really want to fix yourself, and I love it.
I do. I'm done. I just want, you know what it is? I want to, like, now that I'm, I say this, I'm on the back nine. I kind of just want to, like Siddhartha, you want to, like, live all these lives.
Yes.
So it's like, I've collected the data of the fuckery. I've got enough fuckery.
Yeah.
Time to go into wisdom, wise mind.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to really use all reflect, and also like with the whole thing, like you're saying, I'm trying not to bulldoze now, and I'm also trying to see the nuance of things. So it's not like that's a bad person,
right.
that's good thing, that's a bad
That
thing.
person did a bad thing. They're a bad person.
People, they're fucking out. You know what I mean? Where it's like, things are gray.
Yes,
Things
the
are
gray.
the gray, and also it's like, you just want to be like that mantis shrimp where you can see all the colors, just an array of colors, and not just, because I pretty thought I was an open person, but at the same time, when I'm triggered, it's like right away, fangs or whatever. So with that being said, it's like, it's not more of like, oh, I'm not telling myself I can't do that. It's more of like, does that make me happy? You know what I mean? Like, will I feel better tomorrow? Will I feel like it's kind of working, because we also train ourselves to be present. Because I think, I've been so, without really realizing, I was so being operating from the past,
right?
Which I didn't know I was. I thought I was just in my moment, and I'm not trying to be too thinking about the future, but I am just trying to think where it's like, okay, if I eat a fucking 2 slices of pizza at 3 a.m., how is that going to make me feel in the morning?
Right.
So it's just kind of like taking that moment, taking a beat. That's, and that's...
Totally. Taking a beat, and like the term, even though it's cringe, is mindful.
Yeah.
Being mindful about it.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite end of that,
Right.
if you do have a 3 a.m. slice of pizza,
It's
you
not the
are
end of the world. You're going to be
not
okay.
going to implode.
Right,
You are
right.
not a bad
Right.
person. You're
or
not
I'm just thinking
now-
about like if I want a slice of pizza, fine. Have a slice of pizza. You know, I'll be like, maybe I'll get veggie on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think in ways that are like I'm trying to be more nicer to myself so there I'm nicer to others.
Yes.
And I didn't realize I was being so harsh
right.
to myself. Like I didn't
Right.
realize how bad I was being. I was treating myself really badly, and I didn't realize I was judging myself. I mean, when I was really young, I used to duck mirrors.
Ooh.
You know, like
Yeah.
I remember being 13 when when you're going through like I was
Totally.
ducking mirrors left and
You
right.
just, like,
I
didn't wanna
want to
see
look
it.
at myself. I didn't want to see myself. I hated
Yeah.
it. I still have a phobia about it today. Like now doing clips, I force myself, and half the time I'm like, my stomach's sticking out. Way to go,
Yeah.
Levin. Why
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
you
yeah.
look at yourself before you go on fucking
Yeah.
stage? But I'm like, I'm always in the moment when I'm doing shit where I'm just like, "Wah!" And I'm just like, and part of that character is me on stage. So I'm also, that's another thing. I'm like trying to like navigate that.
Yeah, I mean, so much of being on stage for me at the beginning of comedy was just disassociating. Like
Right.
I liked kind of being on stage because I felt so out of my body.
Right,
And
kind
I
of.
didn't want to be in this vessel.
Right, me too. That's I still like I black out sometimes.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm just like going with the ride, and I'm like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
And then I wake up and I'm like, all right. And I'm trying to like, now that I'm looking and I'm doing all this work and I'm learning, I'm like, okay, I can use this gift, if you will, but do it like an orchestra. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Kind of like you're creating a piece of music. You can create the rhythm in that regard. You know what I mean? And still
Yeah.
get lost in the moment. But I'm just trying to desperately just make sure I take and it's still, this is only been starting to click in the last couple of months. So
And it takes years of therapy for it to like get
yes,
to the point
to
of
get
clicking.
to the point of clicking and to see, oh, I see it now, you
Yeah.
know, because you have to constantly put yourself in check. Like on the way over here, I started making a narrative about something that I'm not sure what that narrative is. And I'm like, okay, but now my brain is going, Levin, that's a narrative. Like
Right.
I didn't have that
to
before.
have the interjection of
Now
you're
I'm like, I
doing
didn't have that before. It's like, why are you creating story where you don't even know?
Yeah.
That's not true. Like, why are you even putting your, So I'm just kind of like, so that there's like little wins. Those are the little wins that I'm seeing.
That's great. That's great.
You know?
And once you realize that the mask has to fall and I
Right.
can't be the person that like I'm trying to bulldoze my way into
Right.
being, and it's you're able to catch when you're doing
The trip
something
ups,
unhealthy.
like the
Yeah.
old, like your old ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I notice a lot. Like I've been dipping back and forth to get into dating, because I do want to find someone, But it's like I'll do it, and I'll be like, okay, that's an unhealthy thing. That was an unhealthy approach. I need to take a break.
Right.
Like so I've been dipping toes with it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm
It's
still
I think what is really hard about dating was for me when I was dating, the amount of validation I got from
Right.
a date if it went well.
Right.
And then that person became the person I was obsessed with.
right,
Because they gave
I
me
do get that.
validation.
Yeah, I would get obsessed with. I do have like,
And
that's
I don't
the
even
thing.
know this schmuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like I had recently a dude, like this past summer, I don't know what happened. Like I was horny as fuck, and I'm like, you know what? I just need to get a dick. I need to grab
Yeah.
a dick. I just need to catch
Gotta
a dick.
catch a dick.
Gotta catch a dick. So I ended up talking to a dude on, I think this was Tinder, and he was actually seemed to be a legit. He was like, what are you looking for? And I was just like, at that point, I was like, I just want blah, 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 blah. And he was just like, all right, cool. And then talking to him a little bit more, I started liking him, and I was like, oh, I can't pull that back now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I'm like, hey, just to let you know. And he was like,
I'm not that kind of girl.
yeah, kind of. And I'm like, ugh. And then it came off weird. And then he was like, and then he said, oh, we'll have a date. And then it was like Monday. And I'm like, hey, I'm planning to do spots. Are we good for Friday? He goes, I lied. And I was like, I have a friend asking me if I'm available for Friday. He goes, you can tell your friend you're available for Friday. I was like, thanks. Best of luck. And I was like, all right, I fucked that up. It was like, okay, I fucked that up because I used the old, like, I don't want to lose you
Bait
kind
and
of a thing.
switch, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
lose you. And then I ended up hooking up with a dude in a hotel room. We had sex, and I was like, all right, I thought this is all I could get. So I was like, I'll do it again with you because, fine, maybe it'll get better. Didn't hear from him. And then, and then I was like, okay, that was like an emotional in a month. I was like, okay, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm still not approaching this in a
it's
healthy way. And it's a lot, especially when it comes to love, like emotional, like looking for that. It's so, I got the friends thing on lockdown now where I'm not, because I even noticed it with them. I'd get a little bit like, why aren't they texting me back?
Right.
My one best friend, Talal, God bless him, he was always like, Levin, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I love you. You're fine. But like he had to sit me down. I'm like, oh man,
thank God
do
for
it.
friends like that.
Yeah, thank God. Like seriously, that's all I ask for anybody in my life. It's like just be straight with me.
Yeah.
Even when it's hard, if you could do that for me, I'd love you forever. Because if you could be like, Levin, you're being a dick,
right?
Or you're being a fucking, you're being obsessive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, help me. You know what I mean? Like, because I'll do it for you. But a lot of people don't like to hear it either, though. Which is
right. That's why everyone pussyfoots around.
Yeah,
because they don't.
A lot of people don't like. They don't want to like. Because I realize in this process, like, I want to get better. I want to get better. Not everyone
everybody
wants to.
Yeah.
So I think I could be a little much for people because I'm so like trying to figure out. I'm like, why don't you want to?
Right.
Like, why don't? What else are we here on this planet for? Don't you want to be like? I mean, when I die, I want to be so authentically who I want to be, like that old monk that's just like in my being of like, and be able to die and be like, okay, I did it.
Yeah, for sure. But I think authenticity is something that not everybody strives for because people don't even really care a lot. Like,
yeah, that's crazy to me. My best friend Dan says that to me. I would be lost without that motherfucker. He's the one, my concert buddy and my LCD guy. Yeah, he's like that. He's like, Levin, you got to remember, not authenticity is not something that everyone want. They think they want it, but they don't go for it, and they really don't work for it. And the minute that they do, they retreat.
Yeah,
they do not run towards it. And I was like, and because of me, I'm very much like, I'm fucking figuring this shit out.
Yeah, you've taken the DMT dose. You want to cross the barrier.
Yeah,
you want to get there.
Right.
Not everybody
and
wants
for
to.
Me
People
to
get
have
scared.
Right, and for me to have to do that, I have to put it in all this, like, I'm trying to find it in a much more settling way because I was bulldozing it, so that intensity carried me everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and you miss things if you just keep on bulldozing.
Right. And so with dating,
yeah,
it's hard when you I'm not saying you need to pick a lane, but you do need to know before going into even a conversation, is this like a we're gonna hook up thing, or is this someone like I want to legitimately date people, to like get to know them, because you can't do the switch up of like, oh, this is what I'm looking for, and then like, oh, by the way, I'm also like someone you can take home to mom.
Right, exactly.
It's annoying.
Well, it's annoying because you hear these stories where it's like, yeah, we hooked up and then now we're married. And you're like,
yeah.
Or I always wanted to be the friend and then grow. I thought me hanging out with dudes and being, I would find a dude and we were friends first and then we became a couple. I always strived for that.
Totally. No one talks about the amount of settling that occurs in those interactions.
Right.
No one talks about that part of it.
Right.
And then we wonder why divorce is at 50%.
Right. Correct. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
Just it. Like not to be a know-it-all, but that's what it is.
Right. And with dating, I think, and also when I was first, I realized that summer, I'm like, oh, I really don't know what I want. I mean, I was so horny, I just wanted to catch a dick. And with that, I did catch a dick, and it didn't make me feel good.
Yes.
And then I didn't like my approach on how I did that. And I'm like, it was kind of like I did the lab experiment, and now I'm like, oh, I still have a lot more work to do before I go back in again.
For sure. That's good.
And also for a while there too, sorry to cut you off, I didn't go on dates because I felt like I had nothing to wear.
Totally.
I had nothing to wear. I didn't like, because for a while there I'm like, I'm wearing hoodies, I'm wearing these pants, and I'm wearing prime I'm wearing hip hop sweatshirts. I'm wearing
Echo Red.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, all right, I'm this kind of vibe. And it's like, and the idea of having to like wear and going the reverse end of having to wear a dress, just to catch the eye. It's just like, it just, you know what it is? It's so inauthentic to me.
You just gotta find what's you.
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm kind of
You don't wear
open micing the dating
dresses.
apps.
Yeah,
It's like, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like trying to figure it out.
Just trying this out.
But
have
it's
this
like, I'll
thought.
try it, and then I'm like, I need a break. It's too much.
Yeah.
With trying to deal with, weight loss, because I have 2 jobs. I have the day job, which is a full-time job, and
Yep.
I have comedy at night,
Yep.
and that's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I'm clipping, I'm sending emails, I'm building a business. You're trying to build a business.
It's
So,
never ending.
It's never ending. And I'm trying to go to the gym. I'm also I have 3 therapists at some point. I have the regular therapist, the talk therapist, and the nutritionist. So it's like, it's just, so for right now, I'm kind of like playing with this, like I'm going back to I'm doing both. I'm not going back into my shell. I'm going back to things that made me have joy.
Yes.
Which is like, I like wearing nail polish.
Yeah.
I like playing with makeup. I like but it doesn't have to be like my only identity.
Right.
You're
not the makeup girl.
I'm not the makeup girl. I'm
Yeah.
gonna wear shit.
But you can wear makeup.
But I can wear makeup, and I can
Yeah.
do that. And I'm gonna go to the concert, and I don't have to go and get fucked up to have a good time. I can go eat a mushroom
Yeah.
gummy and have a good time and meet cool people and dance, and then
Yeah.
go home. And I can do all these things without having it to be, again, a 0 to 100. It doesn't have to be 150 miles per
Yeah.
hour, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be all or something.
Totally. And what a gift that you're learning it now, like at this age versus being in your 60s and like
Yeah, I'm
70s
very
trying
thankful
to
that. I
figure
mean, I wish
out.
I kind of got it sooner, but
It doesn't need whatever.
Yeah, well, sooner only because it's like, I think a lot of relationships got frayed
Right.
in the process of it, but it has to.
It wasn't your life path.
Right. And
Yeah.
it has to get frayed in order to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. You need to
You know?
you need to have garbage
Right.
to wade through to
Right.
get on the other side.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, everything's in a working progress still, like the food thing. I ate late last night. I broke my fast last night because that's another thing too. I'm trying to figure out my intermittent fasting so I eat enough so I don't get hungry at night,
Yeah.
Dude,
something I read online today, or probably came up in a TikTok. I didn't read anything today.
Right.
Was this woman talking about how she like gained and lost her way up to like almost 400 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like she wonders. I have to watch the whole thing, but she's like, I wonder what my life would have been like if dieting was never in my life, because.
Right.
I don't think I would be as big as I am if I
Right.
hadn't had a lifetime of dieting. What if I
Right.
had just existed?
Right. Right. That's true. Because I don't know. Because I was born and raised with the diet culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a joke about this too. This is the thing that no one tells you. No one has the fucking answers.
Nope.
You can, I'm finally figuring this shit out for me.
Yeah.
How this works for me. So it's like, some people, intermittent fasting won't work. Some people, it's whatever. I am enjoying figuring out this intermittent fasting while having my, getting my macro and cooking and measuring, and because I have to retrain my body of like, what do I need to eat?
Right.
Like to be, it doesn't, because for a while there when I would make, also I worked in kitchens, like Michelin star fucking kitchens. So I learned how to cook, like not the healthiest sometimes.
Right.
You
learned how to cook
flavor.
good food.
Right. And it's like, sometimes at night, when you have your night off, you're like, I am making the biggest fucking meal in my life. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm going to gorge. Or when I was drinking bad, it was like, I'm going to order tons of fucking food and eat my face off.
Yeah.
And lay on the couch.
With a bottle
and
of wine.
And I'll tell you, depression then, that was fucking horrid. Having that day after drinking, fucking shit. And that's the thing. I just don't want these feel. That's basically what's keeping me going. It's like, I don't want to feel this way.
Yeah, you just don't want to feel bad anymore.
I don't want to feel bad anymore.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is. So it's like, I'm finding what's working for me and I'm piecing it together. And I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to. I mean, I've lost 2 pounds over Thanksgiving, which has never happened.
Right.
So I was like, this is okay. I'm starting to figure. And to me, it's like, I just want to be healthy because it's like, I want to be active. Like I want to be active. Like I like doing sports. I want to go back into skiing when I was younger. I used to ski when I.
Hell yeah.
Oh, what are you barking about, Bubs?
Are we at an hour?
Yeah,
Why are
dude.
you? Stop, man. Oh my god, that's actually very funny because we are like at an
Oh my
hour.
God.
That is
You
like
was-
crazy.
It's so funny,
Finnegan,
dude.
Stop. No, but I literally part of the reason. Stop it. Let me get Joe. Can you grab him? We're wrapping up anyways. Part of the reason why I started working out because I was like, I can't defend myself.
Oh, word.
Like if
Yeah.
I like for some reason I just got this like wild feeling of like, oh, I have no recoil.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You don't have enough anger to be like, I'll fuck you the fuck
I think
up.
adrenaline would,
Yeah.
but like literally just like from a basis of like what my body has the ability to do.
Right.
I didn't feel like I had it.
Oh, word.
And I used to have that.
Right.
And that literally is part of the reason why I was just like, I think I'm going to work out.
Oh, good for you,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, whatever.
But it couldn't be for weight loss.
No, right. Well, that's the thing too. Like from word, that just clicked. I realize that now too. It's like I'm not finally working out for weight loss. I'm working out because it's like I just like being active. I like moving my body, and also as I get older, I also don't want to be like my mom or dad where like they couldn't move. I want to have mobility.
Yeah.
I look at old people sometimes and I'm just like, man, they're still active and I can tell they're hiking and they're doing shit and it's like I also want to have great sex. I want to be able to like have stamina and I just, I want to feel that like I don't know, I feel like a youngness lately to me. Like I just feel like an energy.
Revitalized.
Yeah, kind of. Like I'm just kind of like with all like and I still have, my shit, but I just feel like I'm finally heading into heading into a new part of me that I'm having fun discovering.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Great.
I'm just staying curious, open,
Yeah.
without thinking someone's going to fuck me over.
Yeah.
It's
Without
funny.
constantly being on the defense.
Constantly be especially with like dudes, it's like I always think it's like this is not going to work and sure as shit they ghost me. I'm the queen of getting ghosted.
Yeah.
I am the queen of it. It's like, which is probably with my friends. I'm like, don't leave me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, but again, it's also the way I am approaching shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so,
You reap what you sow.
yeah. I'm so, accountability. That's another thing people I don't think they really do is accountability.
Yeah.
Like really, when you go to therapy, it's not like you have to go to therapy and you let these things out. You actually have to do the work and be like, where am I in this?
Yeah.
Because I'm a full-on fucking 43-year-old woman. I can make decisions now. I couldn't when I was 8,
Right.
but now I can. So it's about making, accountability in order to find authentically who you are and being unapologetic and finding it in a healthy way.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks, bud.
You really nailed that one.
Thanks, bud.
I'm loving this.
Yeah,
I'm loving
man.
this new vibe. I
Thanks,
think
buddy.
it's great.
Thanks, man.
We're gonna wrap up. Any final thoughts?
No. I also love women now more than I did when I was younger.
I
I'll say
love
that too. Well, because when I was younger, women were bullies.
Yeah. Kids are
I
cruel.
talk about it. Like I feel like we're much more aware now, and we're much more emotionally intelligent than what I grew up with.
For sure.
I think women are a lot more. I just was always ready them being the biggest bitches.
I was always afraid.
I was always afraid of them. Like I was always more comfortable in a room full of men than I was with a room full of women.
Yeah.
Just because they were always in Jersey, they were just judgmental, rich ass cunts.
Yeah.
And we were like the blue collar people.
Yeah. Bergen County.
Yeah. Because
Bitches.
when I was a kid, when my brothers were younger, it was all blue collar people. And then
Right.
the Reagan era came in and all these rich pricks moved
Yeah.
in. So all of a sudden it was like Mercedes Benzes around us and we're like, what the fuck is all
Yeah.
this? So it's like I never, so I hung out with the kids that were just moving from Jordan and India. I hung out with the ethnic kids.
Right.
So that was like, plus I had my grandparents my nanny was living with me.
Yeah. So
So
you kind of related
I
to
related
them more.
to them more than
Right.
the rich white kids.
Where it was like-
so I hung out with the kids from Portugal, Russia. Like
Yeah.
we had all these kids from all over the place. So I always hung out with them because I was like, and my parents are native New Yorkers. So my dad knew, my parents were very culturally
Right.
aware.
They were exposed.
They were exposed to shit. So I'd go to
Yeah.
my friend Jordan's house, who's from my friend who's from Jordan. And they'd be like, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally.
So it's just, I think me being comfortable with my femininity, because for me, when being raised with being feminine was almost kind of being weak.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
You had to be so tough.
you had to be tough.
You had to be so tough.
And my dad was very big into my like the way to think about the world because he was just an
Yeah.
aggressive asshole.
Yeah.
So it was just very male, and I grew up in a very male centric household. So it was just always be the tough,
Yeah.
be tough. You know.
Yeah, for me it was be tough, but also be a lady. Like if I
Right.
burped, it'd
Oh,
be
right.
like young lady. But like I also, when I asked to go into dance class, she's like, no, you're doing softball.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And
yeah, I got those mixed messages, especially with
for-
religion.
Oh, forget it. We
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even get into that.
Yeah, right,
Forget it.
right.
But the kids online call it crashing out.
Yeah.
But I would have what are called crash outs when it would be like Joe and I would do a road gig with somebody and it was another girl and I'm like thinking like she's so skinny
Right.
and like I would tear apart my closet like
Yeah.
almost as a way of self-harm
Right.
to like pull through everything in my closet be like I have nothing to wear and like
Right.
freak out and like go through the motions of like I'm gonna cancel the gig, I can't do this,
Right.
Joe you go, just be crazy because I had this like I just was nervous about doing a road gig with another chick.
No.
And so I love what you said about like embracing femininity and just like being down with the girls because that's where I'm at now.
Right,
like
right,
I
right.
like I love my girlfriends.
Right.
And I like the time that we have together and like I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
more
I
fun
just kind
to
of
embrace it.
No, yeah, totally. I'm just kind of like at the point of like I'm just not bringing narratives.
Yes,
in the world
don't
of it
bring the
all.
narrative. That's
I'm just
what it
trying to
is.
break the narrative.
Yeah.
Like even with a dude, if I have a crush on, don't break the narrative. Like it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
and also don't be upset. You know what I'm saying? Just like easy
Detach.
does it. Yeah. Easy does it
Easy
with
does it.
everything. So it's like I'm very like even when I talk, I have to talk to myself. I will even walk slower. Like I have to put a physical thing to it just to remind myself to slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
So that I'll say too is being a female was like, and even working on sets, that was like I'm gonna carry the biggest, all the sandbags.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll be
Right.
stronger than them. I
Yeah.
will beat them with that, you know? And then therefore the chicks are always like, and then, you know, they're all like flirty to get what they want. And then you're hating them because I'm like, way to set me back 20 years because
Right.
I'm fucking carrying. And then I'm like too butch for the chicks and I'm too butch to
the
get laid for the dudes.
Yeah.
So it's constantly like, so now I'm just kind of freeing myself from any of these
yeah.
gender roles of anything.
Right.
you know?
Right. And just not using brute force.
And not using brute force in the process of it.
Yeah.
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 So.
Love it.
So,
Amazing.
yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
dude. This
thanks
is
for
great.
coming on. I appreciate it. I loved
No,
our
dude.
convo.
Thanks.
Where can people find you?
Oh, on Instagram at JLev Comedy, JLEV Comedy, and so is my X and my TikTok and all that shit is on there too, and my YouTube is all the same
Amazing.
JLev Comedy. So thank you.
Yeah, perfect. All the ways to find Jess will be in the description of the show. And
Thank
until
you.
next week, we'll talk to you. Bye.
Bye. I love the smell of that candle, dude.
Thank you.
Is it also